What if I told you the key to unlocking your PC's true performance is hidden in a place you've probably been warned never to touch?
You know, it's kind of crazy, but a lot of brand new PCs, yeah, even the really expensive high-end ones, are not configured for maximum performance right out of the box. So today, we're going to change that. We're going into the system's main control room to flip the right switches. Think of it as the central nervous system for your computer. Now, while most modern PCs technically use a newer, fancier system called UEFI, pretty much everyone still calls it the BIOS. It's that fundamental piece of software living on your motherboard that wakes everything up before your main operating system even gets out of bed. So, how do we get in? Well, it's actually surprisingly easy. The first step is to restart your computer. As soon as it starts powering back on, you'll see a logo from your motherboard maker pop up. That's your signal. Just start tapping the delete key over and over. For most motherboards today, delete is the magic key that gets you in. Once you're in, you'll probably land on a screen that looks something like this, called Easy Mode. Now, don't let the name fool you. While it's designed to be a simple dashboard, this is where we're going to make our first, and honestly, our most important change. And here it is. This slide shows the single biggest reason why you should go into your BIOS. Your RAM. It's almost certainly running slower than the speed you actually paid for. You see that fast memory you bought advertised at 6,000 megahertz? Well, right out of the box, your PC is probably running it at a much slower default speed, like 4,800 megahertz. You're leaving performance on the table. Now, this isn't a defect or a bug. It's actually a safety feature. See, motherboard manufacturers need to make sure their boards work with any memory you might plug in. So to be safe, they set this slow, universal default speed that's guaranteed to work with everything. But we didn't buy fast RAM to run it slow, did we? The good news is, unlocking that full speed is literally one click. Just look for a setting called XMP if you have an Intel CPU or EXP if you're on AMD. Click on it, change it from disabled to profile 1, and then hit the F10 key on your keyboard to save and exit. That's it. You've just given your PC a free performance boost. Okay, a really important heads up. After you save and restart, your screen might stay black for a while, like a long while, maybe 5, even 10 minutes. Do not panic. This is totally normal. Your motherboard is memory training. It's learning the new, faster timings of your RAM. It only does this once, so just be patient. Maybe go grab a drink. It'll boot up, I promise. All right, now that we've made that huge improvement, let's get a little more adventurous and click onto Advanced Mode. Yeah, it can look pretty intimidating in here with all these menus, but we're just going to focus on a few other key settings that can make a real difference. The first one you'll want to look for is called Resizable Bar. It might be buried in a menu called PCI Subsystem Settings or something similar. The name sounds super technical, but the concept is simple. It helps your CPU and graphics card talk to each other more efficiently. If your hardware supports it, you absolutely want this turned on. So why does it matter? Well, think of it like this. Without it, your CPU can only access small chunks of your graphics card's memory at a time, like trying to fill a bucket with a tiny cup. With Resizable Bar enabled, your CPU can access the entire pool of memory at once. It's like opening a fire hose. For gaming, this means faster texture loading and, you guessed it, higher frame rates. Okay, next up is the boot order, or boot priority. You probably won't need to mess with this day to day, but it's really good to know where it is. All this does is tell your computer which drive to look at first when it's trying to start Windows. If you ever need to install a fresh copy of Windows from a USB stick, this is where you'd come to tell your PC, hey, check the USB drive first. All right, now for a big one, Secure Boot. This is basically the head of security for your PC. Before anything else loads, Secure Boot checks to make sure the software trying to run is legitimate and has been signed by a trusted source. It's your first line of defense against some really nasty malware that tries to hide from your antivirus software. And honestly, in today's world, keeping Secure Boot enabled is pretty much non-negotiable. Not just for security, it's actually a requirement to install and run Windows 11. On top of that, a lot of competitive online games like Valorant actually require you to have it on to prevent cheating, so just leave this one on. So changing all these settings can feel a little nerve-wracking. I get it. But the BIOS has a built-in safety net, so let's talk about how to keep it updated and, more importantly, how to hit the big red reset button if anything ever goes sideways. Updating your BIOS, or flashing it, can give you better stability and even new features. The safest way to do it is to go to your motherboard maker's website, download the correct file for your exact model, put it on a USB stick, and then use the built-in update tool you'll find right inside the BIOS itself. Now this is serious.
This is the single most critical rule of all. Whatever you do, do not turn off your PC or let it lose power while the BIOS is updating. An interruption here is one of the very few software procedures that can actually physically and permanently damage your hardware. It could turn your motherboard into a brick.
But what if you change a setting and your computer just won't turn on? Don't worry, this is your escape hatch. Every motherboard has a way to reset the BIOS back to its safe default settings. The old school way is to power everything down, unplug it, and pop out that little silver coin battery on the motherboard for a few minutes. Many newer boards have a much easier clear CMOS button on the back. Both do the same thing. They're a complete reset to get you back up and running.
All right, we covered a lot of ground in there. So after our quick tour of your PC's command center, what are the absolute must-knows? Let's just boil it all down. Here's your checklist. Number 1, enable XMP or EXPO. Get the speed you paid for. Number 2, turn on resizable bar for a free performance bump in games. Number 3, make sure secure boot is on for security and compatibility. And number 4, know how to reset everything if you ever need to. That's it. These simple tweaks take the BIOS from being some mysterious, scary place to being a powerful tool.
Diving into the BIOS really shows us that even the most complicated parts of the technology we use every day can be understood and even controlled. With just a little bit of knowledge, you can take charge and optimize the tools you rely on. The power is already there. Sometimes you just need to know which switch to flip.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.